This is the Dog Sitter's House podcast. Hey there, pet lovers. Welcome back to the Dog Sitter's House podcast. Let me ask you, does your pet business ever feel so heavy that you wish you could just wave a magic wand and fix it instantly? Or do you wish you could get real clarity on how to fix the challenges in your business? And wouldn't it be nice to have some direction on how to manage your business so that it doesn't always have to fall on your shoulders alone? What if I told you you can? What if I told you that you can tap into your higher self to get the answers that you seek when you need them? Or, in the very least, more often than you realize. And what if I told you the lifeline to your higher self is through nurturing your intuition? Think about it. How many times have you thought about somebody you didn't speak to in a while, and all of a sudden, within the next week or so, they're calling or texting you out of the blue? Or what about numbers? Do you constantly catch yourself noticing numbers like 11, 22, 33, or 44 on a repetitive basis over a short amount of time, like, a week or even a month? I just recently it stopped over the last couple weeks, but before that, I was seeing 1111 all day long, every day for weeks on end. These are commonly known as guidance numbers, as angel numbers, as guides in the universe. Just a little intuitive hit to tell you, hey, pay attention to what you were just thinking about. Pay attention to that because there's something there. And how about in your pet business? Have you ever not seen a client for a while who's in good standing? They haven't booked with you in a while. And so you start thinking about them, you start thinking about how you miss their dog or cat or whatever. And all of a sudden, in the next couple of weeks, you get a call from the owner saying they want to book with you. This happens to me all the time. And chances are, if it's happening to me, it's probably happening to you too. And if so, if you are experiencing any of these things or similar things to it, then you are accessing your intuition. So today, I thought I would go full blown woo woo and talk about how you can nurture your intuition, even your psychic abilities, to help guide you in your business. You see, when you nurture these inner gifts that I believe we all have, and you learn how to trust them, you'll begin to see a more positive impact in your life, in your business. And it could be anything from, lowering the canine chaos to increasing your income, growing your business, fixing common issues in your business, anything you can imagine. So let's first dive in and look at how Google defines intuition. Intuition is the ability to understand something immediately without conscious reasoning, often described as a gut feeling or an inner voice. It's a rapid mental process where the subconscious mind analyzes past experiences, knowledge, and patterns to quickly make a judgment or decision. While it feels spontaneous, it's the result of the mind processing information below conscious awareness to provide a feeling or conclusion. Okay, that is a very scientific kind of explanation, I would say. So let's go into a little bit more of a woo woo and spiritual explanation. I believe it's true that we are probably processing things on a subconscious level, experiences, knowledge, you name it, patterns, like it said, to kind of innately determine things or make a decision, right? But also recognize that that can have fallacies, whereas your past beliefs, past experiences can end up being a bias toward your decision making, toward your conclusion. So there's that. Okay, we'll keep that in that bucket over here. Now, in the other bucket of what intuition is, in my opinion, and many people's opinion actually, is that it comes from outside of your 3D brain. It's not just brain or subconscious dependent on experiences, patterns, and knowledge. That perhaps it's coming from the 5D world, from the universe, from your higher self, your higher power. For example, have you ever been driving along to the same place you've driven to 100 times, and all of a sudden you get this feeling like you should take a different route? And then you take that different route, and you come to find out later on there was a major traffic accident or traffic jam going the route that you normally would? That to me is something that you couldn't have figured out from your subconscious brain patterns, knowledge, or experience. That had to come from somewhere beyond our 3D world. I actually had something similar to this happen to me recently. So I was going from the bank to the grocery store. They're like a good 15 minutes apart from each other. And I normally take the highway to get to the grocery store from the bank. However, on this day, right as I was about to pass this street that would take me there if I went the back way, I got this strong sensation that I needed to turn right on that street for some reason. And I remember thinking to myself, should I listen to this? And I was like, yes, listen. I reminded myself, like, yes, listen to it. And so I turned right and I listened to it. So here I am taking the back streets instead of the highway to the grocery store. Well, about, I don't know, 4 or 6 minutes later, I get a phone call. And that phone call happens to be a handyman who I had previously set up an appointment to have him come by later in the day to give me a quote on something. And he just happened to say, hey, I'm actually closer to you than I thought, earlier than I thought. So I could be there in a few minutes. And I was like, well, you know what? Because I took this route, this back road, I can be there in 5 minutes. But had I taken the highway, I would have had to go all the way around, get to a different exit, come back, and that probably would have taken me 15, 20 minutes to get back to the house. And I was on a really, really tight schedule that day to get everything done, all my errands done before my team member had to leave for the day. So that helped me squeeze it all in and just make the day go smooth. And, there's nothing better than having a day where everything just falls into place magically. Now, I know this wasn't a huge life changing event or anything, but still, it helped me to have a pleasant day. And this is why I can't fully agree with Google's description of your intuition, because there's no pattern, there's no prior knowledge that could have led my subconscious brain into making that right turn at the last second to know that this handyman was going to call me to see if he could stop by earlier than planned. Imagine your intuition or your psychic abilities as a radio wave, right? And you can just tune into it whenever you want. So imagine you're driving down the road and you're listening to WKRG, and that's like a country station, and you're listening to some country tune and you're jamming, and then all of a sudden you hear and it turns into R&B. All of a sudden you're listening to like another station, WKSR or something, right? Now picture you as the radio and the frequency signals, the radio waves, as your higher self, or as the universe sending you signals. These signals come from a place where anything is possible because it's not constrained by the 3D world that we live in. So, isn't it possible that these are simply downloads from your higher self, from the universe, trying to nudge you toward your highest good? If you can agree that this could be possible, even the slightest chance possible, then congratulations, because you've already taken the first step into nurturing your intuition, which is an open mind. You have to be open to believing in things that your eyes can't see, your ears can't hear, that your mouth can't taste, that your hands can't touch. Without that belief, it's as if you've put up the Great Wall of China between you and your higher self, blocking all of those signals trying to come through. This is where a lot of people close themselves off and fall on the old adage of, I'll believe it when I see it. But the truth is, the secret is you have to believe it first. Think about it. Everything you've ever accomplished in your life had to start with a thought first. And then you had to believe in yourself in order to be motivated to take the action to accomplish it in the first place. You didn't wait to see proof before you took action. And in fact, I would go so far as to say that those things you have not accomplished in life is because you didn't believe you could. And that is why you never got started. But in the things that you believed you could do without having proof of it, you did. You took action and you made them come true because you took action and because you believed in yourself, which motivated you to take that action. This is why belief in the unseen is so crucial to turning the impossible into the possible. So now that you believe before you see, let's talk about ways that you can nurture your intuition so it can assist you in your business more often. One of the first exercises I learned to tune in, nurture, and strengthen my intuition so that it could better help me in my life and business was tuning into my body. This first exercise helps bring your intuition into your body so that you can develop more of awareness for it physically. So, of course, if you're driving or dog walking right now, just pay attention to the exercise, the instructions, the steps. They're pretty simple and short. And when you have a few minutes later, sit down and do this. Do yourself that favor. But if you have the time right now to take just a couple of minutes, then let me walk you through this guided exercise so that you can tap into the sensations in your body and understand basically truth from untruth. So go ahead and sit comfortably. It can be cross legged, it can be in a chair, but make sure your feet are flat on the floor if you are. Make sure your spine is erected but relaxed at the same time so you're not feeling stiff. And go ahead and close your eyes. Now place your left hand palm down on your knee. Let your fingers just fall where they may in a relaxed position so that your fingertips are lightly touching your knee. And take a long, deep belly breath. You want to feel your diaphragm expand first, followed by your chest, your lungs. So do it through the nose in and then exhale through the mouth slowly. Take your time and take another long, deep diaphragm breath. Inhale through the nose and exhale through your mouth. With each breath, imagine your body sinking into the chair, into the ground below you, relaxing deeper. Take another deep breath. Now just start breathing in a comfortable pace. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Keep your eyes closed and imagine a string extending from the top of your head all the way out into the universe, past the stars, past the planets, past the sun. And imagine it connecting to your higher self. Once you feel like you are in a relaxed and peaceful place, I want you to mentally ask yourself, how old am I? And then I want you to mentally answer with the correct answer. And notice if you feel any sensation in your left hand, your fingers, your palm, your knee, your leg. Notice if you feel anything there or anywhere else in your body. Go ahead and do it again and see if you feel any sensations. It could be a tingling, it could be a cramp, it could be that you felt some energy shoot through there. It could be anything. Now, once you've done that and you've mentally recorded any sensations that you may have felt, and it's okay if you didn't, don't worry, there's nothing wrong with you if you didn't. We can try this again later, on your own when you're in a more relaxed setting. But let's just go with it for now. And if you felt some sensations, then pay attention to that, kind of do a mental recording. And now I want you to keep your eyes closed, keep breathing calmly. Take another deep breath if you need to get reset. And ask yourself again, how old am I? And this time, I want you to answer with the wrong answer and tell me, or don't tell me, but tell yourself if you feel any different sensations or if you feel nothing at all. Very good. If you followed along, I'm proud of you. So hopefully you did. And what you notice, you can open your eyes. You can relax, open your eyes. If you didn't notice anything, it's okay. Like I said, just try again later. But if you did, what you'll start to realize if you do this a few times, try it with different questions, is it actually helps you learn the difference between an intuitive yes or a no, or the difference between the truth or the untruth. It helps you to recognize those physical signals. And with practice over time, you're going to start recognizing these signals and sensations in real life decisions that you're making. And this helps you tell the difference between anxiety or wishful thinking versus your intuition. And speaking of, a lot of people ask, how do you know when it's your intuition versus just wishful thinking? So here's a list of a few things you can pay attention to that's going to help guide you to whether it's a desired outcome or anxiety or if it's actually your intuition. It's more like anxiety or desire if you feel really attached to the outcome. If the voice is loud or obnoxious, pushy, almost like demanding. If it's biased towards what you want, clearly. If you feel pressure or urgency, or if it's logical or fear based, and usually based on getting the reward for what you want or avoiding what you don't want. So, on the flip side, it's more likely your intuition if you feel guided more than you do attached. The voice you're hearing is calm and quiet, or the sense of knowing is peaceful. It's unbiased and open-ended. You feel a sense of comfort, a sense of peace around it. And more often than not, it does not make any sense logically whatsoever. So let's dive into exercise number 2 when it comes to nurturing your intuition so that you can use it to better guide you in your pet business. This one is super simple, but a lot of people refuse to even try it. They refuse to try it because they automatically think it's something they can't do, or they think that it means having no thoughts whatsoever in your mind. So what am I talking about? You guessed it, meditation. Now, here is the super cool thing about meditation. If you've never tried it or you've tried it and you feel like you failed miserably in the past, then it's so powerful if you just start small in the little baby steps. And you can actually get benefit from it right from the get go. If you just start with 3 to 5 minutes a day of sitting in silence, closing your eyes, focusing on your breath, focusing on the sounds around you, the present moment. Or you can even light a candle and stare at the flame. Doing it outside in nature is a wonderful addition. And taking note of things that you smell, that you hear, that you might have a taste in your mouth, even. Just get really, really present in the moment. If you start thinking about something and your mind goes off in wonderment, that's okay. That is okay. Meditation is the practice of, your brain muscles working because every time you become aware that your thoughts have strayed and you pull yourself back into the moment, to your breath, to the surroundings, to the present time, that is another rep for your brain of building an innate natural sense of constant awareness. When you meditate regularly, it opens up pathways for your higher self to connect with you, to give you the guidance that it's trying to send to you. It really helps to quiet your mind chatter, or what I like to call the monkey mind, so that you can tune in to the subtle messages that you might miss otherwise. Now, if you're thinking, ha, no way, April, am I able to actually meditate when I'm surrounded by dogs? I mean, especially if you're dog sitting in your house like I am, right? I get that, totally get that. So here's a pro tip for you. When you first wake up in the morning, before you even open your eyes, don't move. Lay still and don't let the dogs see that you're awake, right? You can't open your eyes because you know how they are. They might be staring you down, waiting for that sign of life from you so they can jump all over you and get all excited, kiss you in the face and ask for belly rubs and get, you know the drill, right? So don't, whatever you do, don't let the dogs know that you're awake. And so lay there still and quiet and with your eyes closed as best as you can. And just start breathing slowly and deeply, not in a way that alerts the dogs that you're awake. Just nice, calm, slow, deep breaths. Start focusing on your breath. Start focusing on the birds chirping outside the window and just be present. Just do that for 3 to 5 minutes before you even make a move in your bed when you first wake up. And that way you can sneak in a little meditation before the dogs even know that you're conscious again. It works like a charm. The third tool for awakening your intuition so that you can use it to better guide you in your business is freestyle writing. What is this? This is when you sit down and you write whatever comes to your mind. Pay no attention to grammar, spelling, punctuation, or the fact that somebody might read this someday because they're not. Just let it flow. Just whatever comes out of your mind, just let it flow. And it's super important that you do this with an actual pen and paper, not typing on your phone, in your notes, or on a computer. One of my favorite lines from a song called Breathe by Anna Nalick is, if I get it all down on paper, it's no longer inside of me, threatening the life it belongs to. When you write out whatever it is that comes out of you in the moment, you're clearing space for your higher self to send you messages. Sometimes you'll get these intuitive downloads, these aha moments when you're in the middle of writing. And suddenly you'll have solved a problem that you've been wrestling with for a while. It's kind of like when you're in the shower and you have this huge epiphany out of nowhere. It's like that. Only you're intentionally clearing your mind to allow those signals, those messages, those downloads to connect with you. And as I said before, if you're worried about somebody seeing it and reading it later on, then don't. Because what you're going to do is you're going to shred that puppy, you're going to rip it up, whatever you want. You can burn it, throw it in the trash, it doesn't matter. In fact, that's even better because chances are you probably wrote some things in there that you need to let go of. And when you do that, then you burn it, and guess what? Poof, it's gone for good. The physical act of actually writing it out, getting it out of your body, off of your shoulders, out of your head, out of your heart, helps you release whatever it is you wrote down. This wasn't a technique I came up with. This was actually something I learned back in my days of going through my holistic health and life coach training. Okay. This was a female doctor named Christian Northrup. She's a women's health expert, and she actually called this morning pages. So, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter, right? You call it whatever you want. But I call it freestyle writing because it's really basically all it is. She called it morning pages because she recommends doing it when you first wake up in the morning. Now, I know that's not always possible if you're taking care of animals because they got to go, right? We know they got to go, so we got to let them go. But after that, maybe you can sit down with a cup of joe and you can go through the morning pages. It works any time of day, but I will say it does seem to be more powerful in the morning because your brain is coming out of this deep delta wave of sleep in the REM sleep, right? And as it's coming out of it, you're going into another phase called the alpha wave. And the alpha wave is most known for being more of a kind of hypnotic state where your mind, your subconscious is open to messages. Another bonus is that when you do this on a regular basis, it actually helps you to start identifying patterns and inner truths, showing you which thoughts or decisions are not aligned with your authentic self. So now you might be wondering, how exactly does this apply to my pet care business? And my answer to that is in every single way. By practicing these exercises, these tools, I have saved or avoided costly, time consuming mistakes simply by opening myself up, clearing things out, and allowing a knowing to come through to me when I need it. For example, one day I woke up my team members, my two main team members that worked almost full time on the exact same day without, they say, without knowing it. I don't know. They may have told each other. Who knows? It doesn't matter. But they both came to me separately and told me on the same day that they were quitting. My panic button went through the roof, y'all, because I knew there was no way in the world that I was going to be able to run this business as it already was by myself. So I kind of, fretted and panicked and thought, oh, like, what am I going to do? And I was trying to think of things I could do to save myself from this nightmare. And the next morning, I woke up, and because I'd already had a really good practice in place to get up and meditate every day, I pushed myself and I went ahead and did it, even though I was so stressed out. I didn't feel like doing it. I didn't think I was going to be able to do anything, like to actually get any benefit from meditating that day because my head was like spinning, right? But I did it anyway. And I was listening to this guided meditation that I'd actually created for myself years ago. I must have listened to this meditation at least 600 times already, right? And here I am listening to this meditation, eyes closed, breathing deep, trying to be present, trying to get all the chatter out of my brain. And all of a sudden, I heard these few lines within that guided meditation just stand out, and they were so significant. It was so powerful. And I knew in that very moment that those lines were speaking to me. They were speaking to me and my dilemma at that very moment. In fact, they were the answer to my dilemma. Even though that answer was extremely illogical, super huge, and risky, I had this sense of knowing that it was going to work out. I had this sense of peace. I didn't feel like desperate. I didn't feel attached to it. I just felt like this was, yeah, duh. Clearly, this is the answer. Even though it's huge and risky and scary and all that, it was just kind of a, "Oh, that's the answer? Oh, okay, thank you, higher self. We're gonna go with that one." And because I trusted it and I went with it, everything changed for the better. Not only did my business improve, but my time off increased, the organization of things got better, and best of all, to top it off, I even made more money, mo money. It was really the shift that allowed me to start working on my business instead of in my business in reactive mode every single day. And truly, it's the secret, it's the shift that caused me to fall back in love with my business and stop feeling so imprisoned by it. And it was all because I got this intuitive download during a guided meditation that I had listened to hundreds and hundreds of times before. You see, I could list a whole host of possible ways that nurturing your intuition could help you with in your business and your life. But the truth is I am just a 3D person with a 3D brain here in this 3D earth. And that means that I am limited. You are limited. We are all limited in imagining, getting clarity, and dreaming up what is possible because it is so far out of our realm that we can't even think of what is possible because the possibilities are infinite. So, really, the trick is to be open to believing before seeing and do the practice, do the work to practice on opening up your mind's eye, on opening up your inner ear, opening up your heart, your inner knowing, and getting to the point where you can recognize what is truth, what is not, what is yes, what is no. And I'm guessing since you're listening to me right now, that you're probably the kind of person who takes action and who wants to manifest a business to fit the lifestyle that you dream of. So, if so, stay tuned for next week's episode because I'm going to go in even deeper on how to recognize the answers and the different ways that they may come through to you and the type of questions to ask your higher self once you've gotten into the practice of awareness first. Because remember, you cannot get those answers until you create space through meditation, through writing, through the body exercises that we went through today. If you like this episode, make sure you hit a thumbs up, you hit subscribe so that when my next episode comes out and we dive deeper on the subject, you'll be alerted. Thanks for letting me go all woo on ya. And until next time, happy tales to you.